This is a review of the Kodak Zi8 pocket video camera. I bought this particular camera because it has 1080p high-def video, an image stabilizer, and a jack for a microphone. The external microphone I bought, based on reviews on Amazon, is the Sony ECM-DS70P, which looks like this. It's nice, it does not need a battery. And the card I bought for it was a PNY 4GB Class 4 card, which I paid about $16 for on sale. Previously to using this particular camera, I used a DVD camcorder, which I did not find to be very convenient at all, recording on DVDs. And I also used this, which is a Canon A710IS. The video mode in this camera uses the image stabilizer. Even though it's only 640 by 480, the quality of the video from these little Canon cameras is first rate. And I was hoping that this Zi8 would be an improvement from that. My initial impressions are that it's not, that the video quality of the Canon cameras at 640 by 480 is really better and more usable than even the higher defs on these little cameras. However, these little cameras do have fewer moving parts, and I'm much more likely to give this little Kodak to my kids to play with than I am to give them the Canon digital camera. Right now I have it in the macro mode, which is right there, so that I can take pictures of these boxes. And one main selling point to this camera is this microphone jack, so let's go ahead and test that out. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. Now the sound is coming through this microphone. Here, we'll videotape my notes a little bit so we can see. I'm still in the macro mode. Let's see, PNY, 1080 image stabilizer, previously used. Okay, my first impressions. Can we see my notes? The 1080p, I think it's too much. Here's my computer screen. Turn it back on. And it's as you can see, let me put it back on regular mode. This is a fairly nice monitor, and here's a 1080 image, and it's just too big. So you've got to view such a big, let me do window, show movie inspector. So I'm running 1920 by 1080, and that's just humongous. So let me close it. In order to see this picture, I've got to edit and view in half size mode, and that's just, to me, that doesn't seem right. So I do most of my recording on this in 720. And the image stabilizer, let's talk about the image stabilizer for a second. My standard of comparison is this little Canon. And the image stabilizer on this Canon is excellent in video mode. The image stabilizer on the Kodak, while technically I can see that it's there, and technically it does do some stabilization, from a functional perspective, it's still worthless. And what I mean by that is you really can't walk and hold the camera. It really only works if you're sitting like I'm now and not moving. And I'm going to show some examples now, because it's time for some examples. Here's the requisite driving test at 720p, 30 frames per second.
Is there GPS on that phone?
It's not a phone, it's a camera. I do not have my mic hooked up at the moment, so it's using the microphone in the camera.
You said GPS.
I don't have GPS.
You said you do.
No, I don't.
You said you have
That's who's talking right
GPS
now.
on your phone.
My phone, it's GPS. This is not a phone. This is a Kodak. This is a video camera. See, I'm okay. 360 and same driving test, except now we are at 60 frames per second. So I'm going with a macro. I'm going 40. I'm probably speeding. Oh, here we go. Now we're at 60 frames per second. This is Kansas, by the way. Alright. And 1080p in all its glory, driving. There's the side of the road. for fun, we'll do it in WVGA, which I believe is 640 by 480. Throughout this entire presentation, the image stabilizer is turned on. Okay, it's time for a field test of this camera. We're going to try and capture one of life's little events and see how it works when 720 at 60 frames per second. Okay, spontaneous video. Okay, Drew, let's go. Unbuckle. Jason, alright. Oh, I gotta open the trunk. Let's go. Oh man, ice got in there. Here is, which tennis racket's yours, Drew?
The one that's on the...
There's my trunk with my survival kit, fuel can, water, sleeping bag, a tent, and for zombie attacks I have the Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. Okay, let's go. Lock. Time to go, Drew. While looking at me funny, okay, camera. Okay, that's enough. Turn.
I know. It's not a new concept. I went to private schools and they did, well, my private school didn't. Yeah. But public schools, most of them, high school had. I mean, and I kind of wanted him to swim, you know, on swim team. So they don't have him to swim team, they don't swim. It's a shame. No. I wish my swim.
Okay, I'm using the supplied software and I'm using the microphone. I learned I have to hold the microphone close to my, to hear it. And notice it appears, you can see this little spinning icon. That means it's crashed. And I'm working on this review right now on the screen and it has crashed. It's crashed 2 times in the last 10 minutes. So that's basically all I'm going to say about the supplied software, which is ArcSoft Media Impressions. Okay, I've learned that this microphone is kind of a pain to work with the extension cord. So I'm going to try something different. If I take off this, I can actually attach it. So now I'm going to attach this directly, like so. Now I've got the good microphone attached directly to the camera, so now the sound should be a little bit better. Here's what the camera looks like with the external microphone attached. I'm still testing to decide if it's worth the extra, if it does provide extra quality or not. But that's what it looks like. I can turn it this way, so the left and right stereo, one's pointing to me, one's pointing to the front, or I can do it sideways, so the left and right mics point up and down. Okay, I'm demonstrating the image stabilizer, holding as steady as I can. You can see the stabilizer's working a little bit. Yeah, I can see that it's working a little bit now. If I move the camera up and down, it doesn't quite. And if I move it, if I shake my hand, it's. But if I hold really super steady, the image stabilizer helps a little tiny bit. So I think the only way to really use this camera is to keep it on something stationary. And I'm not going to test the still picture feature because I don't see the point of that feature. So my conclusion of this Kodak Zi8 camera is that it is okay, and my opinion of the Sony external mic is that it's okay. And that's my review.